Hey everyone, it's your guy Matt Staffiero. I just wanted to come through real quick because I had a pretty big announcement for the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Is a couple of you guys have seen the post that I posted a couple weeks ago, just talking a little bit about what was going on, where things have been, why has it been so quiet on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Well, life gets crazy. People get things to do. People are coming back from work. Thankfully, workforce starting to come back to normal. So podcasting is going to be resuming soon. With that being said, my big announcement is the breakdown with Matt Staffiero will officially be coming back June 17th. And then we'll be airing a weekly episode every Friday. I can't guarantee that it'll always be live, but there will at least be an episode of the breakdown coming out every Friday starting June 17th to carry you through the NFL season. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to start talking sports again. Big events are coming in my life. Got a baby boy due any day now. So that's why it's going to get pushed out a little bit further. So, I got a few minutes with you guys. Is there any sports topics you guys want to talk about before I hop off today? But the big thing is, I just wanted to announce that the breakdown will be back June 17th. Whew. Well, real quick, I want to give some Bronco stuff. The Nick Bonito draft. That's some big stuff. I was nervous. I didn't think we were going to get an edge rusher. I really didn't think we were going to get an edge rusher of that quality. I know I've seen a couple people really hating on the Bonito pick for the Broncos, but it just makes too much sense. The kid's a monster. He's a dog. He's got one of the highest efficiency rates as a pass rusher that we've seen coming out of college in a while. Oh, comments are coming in, man. How I missed the conversation. Jerry Jeudy, this is tough because the inner part of me, being a not so much older than Jerry, I'm about 5 years older, thinking about what it's like to have a kid and what the life's going through, and it gets touchy because you want to put that personal spin on it, but at the same time, this is a professional athlete. Unfortunately, professional athletes are held to a different standard. It's something that you really got to keep your nose clean. If we look at the bigger picture, let's just look at Jerry Jeudy's first 2 years here. It's been less than stellar. Coming off one of the best wide receiver drafts in NFL history, it's I don't know. It's concerning. Yeah, I get it. You're going to say, oh, the injury. He didn't have a quarterback. But what about the drops? What about the inconsistencies? What about, the stellar route running? But we haven't been able to see. Was that misutilization by the previous coaching staff? Possibly. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, the first thing Denver goes out and does with this new regimen is they go out and they get a quarterback. And the first thing you do is get yourself in some trouble. So, hopefully legally everything will kind of dissipate. It does sound like it was just a pretty bad argument that got overblown. There was no physical violence. From the last thing that I did hear, that there was going to be some prosecution, that even though the victim had asked for the charges to be dismissed, they decided that they were going to continue to prosecute. So this we're going to have to just kind of wait and see what happens. I think it's May 31st is his next court date, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Even if this is, the other thing that we really got to keep an eye on is that if whether this is dismissed, whether it's reduced, or even if he is convicted, it's a violation of the NFL's personal conduct policy. So we're going to have to see if there's going to be any backlash on that. Let's go. Kurt coming in real quick. Jeudy will be a non-issue. I don't know yet. I can't say that we've seen guys get suspended for less. One thing that I will always say, Denver Broncos always are made an example of, and I think a big part of that was the lack of ownership. So there's no one to push back on if there's the trust. So which we've had. So there's really not been any pushback. So we've been kind of bullied at certain times. If we go back to looking at the Drew Lock COVID incident with, no quarterbacks, Kendall Hinton having to play quarterback. It happens. That's what happens when you don't have an owner in place. So with a new owner, we can hopefully see things like that start to dissipate. Ooh, real quick, we got an Avs question coming in. Avs round 2. How many games do you think this series goes? I want to say 4. Let's just bring out the brooms again. But I do think that this is a Avs win in 6. So it's going to be closer. I think the Avs need to be tested a little bit. They need to get, roughed up a little bit. Something that we've seen, last season, in the last 2 seasons, they get demised when they start to get bullied and they start to get out, that physical portion. They start to get a little bit rowdied out. So I want to see a good challenge here. Let's have a hard fought series and then go in and let's kick some butt the rest of the way. Oh, David Slave is the ask question. Come on, Dave. You got to come in and use real quick. So if you guys are seeing this Facebook user pop up, because we've had to reconnect Facebook because we've been dormant for so long, in the little description above, it will have a little link to StreamYard. If you click that link, it allows Facebook and StreamYard to use your name on this account. That's pretty all it is. They're not going to steal your information, anything crazy like that. Jody Moncrief, Avs in 6. We're on the same wavelength there. Let's see. I had another one coming in. Jody Moncrief coming with another one. Is JJ a bust? It's too early. I say you have to wait 3 years before you can give that evaluation of whether someone's a bust. Now, if we talk about, Bradley Chubb, I don't know. I feel like he's been a bust since day one, but that was because I felt we desperately needed a quarterback. But I think it's too early to really harp on it. We talked about the poor coaching staff, the poor quarterback play, the injury, the drops. How much is this transition from Alabama to here really kind of got in the way of things? Now we have the legal trouble. If he cannot rebound from this legal trouble and he cannot rebound with a valid quarterback, then yeah, I think at the end of the season, we have to label him a bust and a huge swing and a miss. And I know, my buddy David Slay is going to miss it, really enjoy this comment. We really, really missed when we didn't take Justin Jefferson, but I get it. Looking at would Justin Jefferson have the same success if he had Drew Lock instead of Kirk Cousins? And I can't, say that is going to happen. So I think everyone who took a receiver in that draft class that's not named Justin Jefferson is feeling, a little bit like, dang. And like here he is right here. We should have picked the real JJ, Justin Jefferson. But like I said, Dave, we couldn't guarantee that Drew Lock would have been able to give him the same production that Kirk Cousins has. That's the unfortunate part. We haven't had a quarterback in 100 years. We finally get one. So we're going to see what's going to happen there. David Slade also coming in. Jared Judy's a blessed. It's too early. It really is too early. Jody Moncrief coming back to the Bradley Chubb conversation. He wanted Quentin Nelson that draft. I think, guard is overlooked, especially that early in the draft. When you're in that top 10, you're really looking for those, playmaker positions, quarterback, edge, corner, tackle. To even see him go that early was crazy, but Indy's got a Hall of Fame guard. That's for sure. That's what he is. Hall of Fame guard. All right. I got about 5 more minutes before I go back to work for the day. Let's see. He doesn't drop the balls. Well, hey, what do we, I hate to bring up our analytics crew here, but let's go back to what PFF said with Drew Lock. How many of those drops on Jerry Jeudy were off target? And I believe it was over 80% were off target balls. So, we couldn't guarantee, that the catch rate would it be as bad of what Jerry's was? Probably not. Let's be real, but could we say that it couldn't have been that bad? Not having a quarterback is a big one. Coming in with the Bridgewater hate. Now with Russ, watch out. JJ, as I said, I think he has a great chance to do it. I think with this new scheme will also fit Jerry's, playing style as well. It's going to get him out of running the drag routes. But, there's one thing that, people within the Broncos organization have been talking about a ton, is that these receivers, they're going to have to be willing to block. Cortland Sutton, I don't have a problem with. Tim Patrick, I know he's going to do it. 2 players that I'm the most concerned with are Albert Okwuegbunam and Jerry Jeudy. So we're going to have to see what happens with them. Albert O's a vertical tight end. Dulcich, another one. He's a vertical tight end. He's shown willingness to block, but does he have the skill set to do it? We're going to have to really see what happens. Jerry Jeudy had 0 help from Drew Lock, or Teddy Bridgewater. And, I agree with that. Teddy did what he was asked of. He was here to just kind of be a placeholder, get us through. He did what he did at being average. We can always talk about the missed tackle or the lack of attempt on a tackle. So we're gonna have to just see where that goes. Let's see. Any more questions coming in last second? Real quick while we wait, see if any more questions pop in for the last few minutes. Just dive into the draft. I want to go back to Bonito. Like I said in the beginning, the dude's a stud. He's gonna come in. He's gonna wreak havoc day one. It's gonna be nice to not have to rush him onto the field so quick. But you got a great insurance policy. I mean, we talk about Bradley Chubb, we talk about Randy Gregory. Their biggest issues is availability. Gregory's had health issues. He's had legal troubles. I mean, a lot of that's in the past, but it's going to be nice to see if he can complete a full season here. If not, you got Nick Bonito to step in. You also, same thing, Bradley Chubb. If, we haven't seen him complete a full season in what feels like forever. Same thing. You got a great insurance policy at Nick Bonito. You got Malik Reed. You got the kid that we got last year out of Ohio State. I'm drawing a blank on his name. It'll come to me. But we got solid depth there. The drafting of Nick Bonito makes a guy like Malik Reed available via trade. With George Payton talked a lot about, how do we get more draft capital for next year? There's a solid person, an average player at a position that many teams need. So hopefully we can regain some capital that way as well. I think we have 5 picks only going into next year. I'll have to look at it for sure, but I can't remember what's on my head. This is a tough one. We're gonna switch to Rockies. Thank you, real quick. Thank you, Jonathan Cooper. I was drawing a blank on his name. I was like John. I couldn't think of it. But going back real quick, Judy Moncrief brings up a very touchy subject for me. Are we glad we didn't re-sign Trevor Story? No, I'm not glad. Because, Trevor was a solid player here, and this isn't being a homer. But if we look at what his stats are now, I was reading a story about a week or so back. Trevor Story's getting booed out of Fenway over there by the home crowd. He had an average of less than he was batting under 200 at one point. But it just goes to show you that these guys here that are groomed in Colorado, they come out, they get these big bats, they do that, but then they don't take in effect how much playing at Coors Field really boosts their stats. Coors Field is a hitter's park; it always will be. And he's seeing that now. He's already got paid. So, he's going to get paid either way. So, I'm not mad that he didn't resign, but I'm definitely not happy that he didn't resign. He could have been a viable bat here in what we have. Look at Brendan Rodgers' struggles throughout the beginning of the season. He's kind of turning it around now. But, Iglesias, is that Trevor Story? Does he give you the same, athlete that Trevor Story is? Absolutely not. But, hey, Rockies are above what everybody thought they were going to be. So, there's, I can't complain right now. But, he has been trash in Boston. But like I said, it goes back to, Coors Field is a hitter's park. But, you know what, guys? It's been a blast. I have to, unfortunately, get back to work. I just wanted to hop on, talk some sports for a few minutes. It's been so long since I've had a conversation about it. Just been, like I said, going through the motions of life, prepping for a baby that's going to be here literally any moment. So, we're going to just hop on, and the breakdown will officially be back June 17th. So mark your calendars for it. Every Friday, there will be a show, either recorded or live, probably 15 to 30 minutes as I kind of rebuild it. We also got some other great shows that are getting ready to get put together. So I'm just excited to be back, guys. It's been a blast, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me for this brief segment. Bye.